Bay since 1952.
And while many love the weather, for others it's creating a crisis situation. Temperatures topped out at record-breaking 89 degrees in the Twin Cities, 24 degrees above normal. The unusual spring weather has left the ground parched. And for those who rely on the land, the stakes are high for some forecasted rain. KARE 11's Boyd Hubert reports.
The experts have their index for measuring dry weather. We novices look to things like the sprinkler index, running 3 to 4 per block in this neighborhood. There's also the trail of dust index. Trust us, there's a John Deere in there somewhere.
See how fast it's drying out?
Carl Ford demonstrates the shovel index.
You can see that we're going down 2 or 3 inches before we get to that moisture here.
Ford is a Dakota County Extension educator, what they used to call the county agriculture agent. Titles change, but dry is still dry.
If we continue with these real hot temperatures and the windy effects, that what will happen is that moisture is going to be moving down. And if it moves ahead of the plant, then you got problems.
In truth, the problem is already here. Since October of last year, our rainfall total is 5 inches below normal.
It's been so dry and windy that it's just drying everything right out.
John Baker can spread all the fertilizer he wants, but unless some raindrops start hitting his fields, he's in trouble.
The ground is so powdery. It's just very dry.
The corn is germinating, but will soon wilt without good soaking rains. And tomorrow, a second semi-load of hay will be arriving at the Baker farm. John's buying hay because of concern his own parched alfalfa fields will not produce enough this year to feed his dairy cows. Perhaps you've heard the phrase $1 million rain. If the forecast actually delivers this weekend, John Baker will do you one better.
About a $2 million. That'd be a lottery, I guess.
You can measure it with the Smiling Farmer Index.
Yeah. All right, farmers, this one's for you. If this doesn't make it rain, then I give up. Don't mean to steal any of Ken Barlow's thunder, but there is some good news in the forecast, some encouraging news that could be coming our way on Saturday night. Ken will have all the details in his forecast coming up later in the newscast.
All right, Boyd, thank you.
Thanks.
A string of violent attacks in Minneapolis have police searching for several suspects.
The latest incident happened today when a woman fought off a man who stormed into her house. The assault is the 4th in the past month where women have been the targets. But as KARE 11's Bernie Grace reports, for now, investigators don't believe any of the 4 cases are linked.
Minneapolis police investigators quickly were in the neighborhood of 29th and Logan looking for evidence that may lead them to the man who stormed into a house around 7 this morning and held a woman at knife point. But the victim, screaming and yelling, apparently scared her assailant off when she said her husband was home.
You feel really violated and it makes you a little angry and you're ready to get out and fight.
This woman says the block club has been loosely knit because things have been so quiet here. But this morning's incident will certainly spur the club back into action.
When people know that you're band together, they go off and they go to another area. We've never had any problem in this area up until now.
Well, no sexual assault occurred in today's incident. There are several unsolved cases that are somewhat similar to this one. Last week on Plymouth Avenue, a woman says she buzzed into her apartment who she thought was her boyfriend, but was a stranger who she says raped her. And 3 weeks ago at Girard and 35th, a woman says she awoke to a stranger fondling her. And 2 weeks ago, a 76-year-old woman in northeast Minneapolis was carjacked, raped, and robbed as she left her home. While investigators are looking into the attack here early this morning, given the circumstances and the description of the suspect, they don't believe this case is related to the other 3 unsolved cases. And for that matter, at least for now, authorities believe the assailants are different in each one of these cases.
It could have been my wife or mom or, so, yeah. It's tragic, to say the least.
As police look for answers in this latest attack, residents here may be uneasy but are also thankful today's victim escaped, may be roughed up, but not injured.
It's startling, and it is a nice neighborhood. And there's a lot of children here, and it's family-like on this block, and we look out for each other. So I'm surprised and very upset, actually.
In Minneapolis, Bernie Grace, KARE 11 News.
Police are offering a warning about break-ins in conjunction with the warm weather. Use caution when leaving windows open, and remember to relock windows at night and when you leave the house.
Basketball fans are remembering former Gopher and Timberwolves coach Bill Musselman, who died today. 1 month ago, Musselman acknowledged he was battling bone marrow cancer. Mayo Clinic doctors say he passed away from heart and kidney failure at St. Mary's Hospital in Rochester early this morning. Musselman was 59 years old. Randy Shaver will have more on his storied coaching career coming up in sports. A fatal accident caused a massive backup on Interstate 394 tonight. State troopers and police closed all 3 lanes of eastbound 394 just before 6 p.m. 1 person died in the 4-vehicle accident. There are not any reports of other injuries. Eastbound 394 finally reopened shortly before 8 p.m.
They no longer say I love you, but they can still break your heart. Repackaged versions of the computer virus that spread around the world yesterday are still surfacing. Experts say at least 5 copycat viruses are spreading. One is disguised as a joke and another as confirmation for a Mother's Day gift order.
The average sale tax rebate check going out to Minnesotans this summer will be about half as big as those last year. An agreement hammered out today by House and Senate leaders sets aside about $650 million for a one-time tax rebate. Lawmakers also agreed to $11.5 million in property tax relief for farmers. Students at Columbine High School are dealing with the loss of a fellow classmate 2 weeks after the 1-year anniversary of the school shooting. 17-year-old basketball star Greg Barnes has committed suicide. The junior witnessed his teacher's shooting death during last year's rampage.
In healthcare tonight, a drug hailed as a magic bullet for treating breast cancer is linked to the deaths of more than a dozen women. 62 women taking Herceptin have suffered reactions to the drug. 15 of them have died. The drug's maker, Genentech, has mailed a letter to oncologists warning them about reactions, including allergic shock and extreme respiratory distress. Well, something strange and sticky is falling from the sky in a North Metro suburb.
The substance is not only annoying, it's destructive, staining everything from clothing to cars. But the community of White Bear Township is all abuzz about the source. We sent KARE 11 reporter Phil Johnston to investigate the mystery of the yellow goo.
As a boy, Wally Peters learned all about the birds and the bees.
Yep, good old bees.
But there is one lesson his parents left out.
All over the side of the building, all over the windows. More bee poop.
Yes, you heard what he said.
This is all bee poop, not poop. Soft bee poop.
And as a grown man, this is one part of nature Wally Peters could live without.
These bee poops here don't scrape off easy. You actually have to get your fingernail down there.
Wally is a hazardous waste technician at Comtel Machine and Engineering in White Bear Township.
At least 100 spots here. There. Poop zone, number 1.
And he says the Comtel parking lot has turned into something of a waste area for a massive colony of bees living across the street at the Tamarack Nature Center.
When I came out to do the testing and I was scraping off the samples, I got poop done.
Claiming the
bee poop
does real damage to the cars in the lot, Wally would like Tamarack to move the bees.
If we were living on the same block and I got a dog that's pooping in your yard, I got to take care of my dog.
But it's not so simple, says Nikki Schneider, who works at the Tamarack Nature Center.
Right now there's no conclusive evidence saying that it's from a bee. We know that it is pollen, but there are a lot of pollinating insects out there like ladybugs and box elder bugs.
Until an entomologist's test comes back, Nikki says we won't know who to blame.
Kind of like a mystery that we want to solve, and nature's full of mysteries.
Well, you can see I don't like them.
But to Wally Peters, this case is closed.
See what I'm saying? I don't like bees.
Phil Johnston.
And they don't like me.
KARE 11 News.
For what it's worth, we want you to know just how hard KARE 11's journalists work to cover stories like the one you just saw. Reporter Phil Johnston was stung on the eyelid and the hand during the shoot. And photojournalist J.R. Mann had an allergic reaction to a sting he received in his armpit and had to go to the hospital. J.R.'s doing fine. Still ahead in weather, Ken has a forecast with a 4-letter word you're going to like.
And how to celebrate Cinco de Mayo in St. Paul, plus a bizarre custody battle over America's most beloved puppet. And next in the Extra, a story about a consumer who took on a debt collector and came out on top.
When you look to the horizon, what do you see? Do you see the boundaries that hold you back? Or do you just stare into the distance and ask, I wonder what's over there? Go find out in a 2000 Ford Explorer. Right now, lease a 4-door Explorer for $299 a month for 24 months. Get a CD player and control track 4-wheel drive, all for a lease payment of just $299 a month. In a Ford Explorer, there are no boundaries.
This Saturday, Slumberland will be closed until noon to prepare for the shortest, most exciting furniture sale anywhere. Then, from noon till 6, see heart-stopping markdowns on millions of dollars worth of brand-name home furnishings. Get this leather sofa in your choice of 4 colors at the exclusive Slumberland price of just $4.99. And only the Midwest's #1 mattress store can bring you this Sealy Posturepedic queen-size set for just $277. And remember, Slumberland guarantees your complete satisfaction. The ultimate 6-hour sale, noon to 6 this Saturday, only at Slumberland Furniture.
I'm a slave. What possible difference can I make?
Rolling Stone calls Gladiator the first epic blast of the new century.
Today I saw a slave become more powerful than the Emperor of Rome.
And Time magazine says Gladiator is big, rousing, daring entertainment. Jeffrey Lyons hails Gladiator as a magnificent, sweeping story. And Newsweek declares it's mesmerizing and spectacular. Russell Crowe, Gladiator, rated R, now playing everywhere.
Various microwaves offer up to 32 features, including 6 preset functions. Over 46 hardware and programming options are available on most digital TV systems. And sofas come in a plethora of frames, sizes, fabrics, and colors. And there's one place you can go to get expert advice on all 3. Brand Source.
For your nearest Brand Source store, call 1-877-GO-BRAND. They're your neighborhood expert.
Yeah, this guy's my favorite actor. Popcorn?
Memories light the corners of my mind. Misty watercolor memories.
EddieMemories.com will process your film for free, and you'll only pay for the prints you want. Because everyone's capable of taking at least one picture worth keeping. eMemories.com.
Ooh, Billy's snatch bars. Come on, Fluffy. Let's see what you've learned. Sit. Good boy. We deserve a treat for that. Cheesecake.
Yo, yo.
Down.
Yo.
Very good. Up.
Yo, yo.
That's really incredible.
Treat yourself to the rich and creamy cheesecake taste of Philadelphia snack bars.
Here you go, Fluffy.
They're a little taste of heaven.
Don't make me come up there.
What goes up must come down, but how about dropping 27 stories at speeds of up to 50 miles an hour? You're looking at Valley Fair's newest attraction, the Power Tower. Belinda Jensen and her brother Jay braved the beast today. The 275-foot pile of steel also propels passengers up into the air. Well, the smell of south-of-the-border cooking was in the air tonight in St. Paul's West Side neighborhood. Cinco de Mayo celebrations kicked off this evening at Concord and State Streets and run through Sunday. Tonight in the Extra, a story for anyone who's ever been concerned about their credit rating.
One day, a collection agency is hounding you for $300. The next thing you know, they want to forget the whole thing ever happened. Well, that's exactly what happened to one Twin Cities man, and he told his story to KARE 11's John Croman.
It took some doing for George LaFleur to get a place of his own. It started 2 years ago when he found out he couldn't qualify for a home loan.
We were turned down, and that's when I started wondering, well, what's on my credit that's bad?
The holdup? An unpaid Minneapolis bill from 1992, $302. It showed up here on his credit report from TRW Experian. He and an ex-roommate ran up the bill while living in this duplex in Bloomington. And when they moved out, the roommate agreed to pay it.
He owed me some money, and he said he'd take care of some of the back bills, and that was one of them. He agreed that he would pay.
But the gas bill wasn't paid. The roommate filed bankruptcy, and in 1993, Minneapolis sold the account to a collection agency, Allied Interstate. That company listed the unpaid bill on George LaFleur's credit report, so he called Allied to straighten it out.
I realized it's in my name because the account was in my name. Can we, help me out here? Can you reach an agreement maybe? Would you be willing to take a partial payment? They told me no, all or nothing.
That's where the credit clock comes in. Damaging information about you, like unpaid bills, is supposed to drop off of your credit report in 7 years. So George's bill went delinquent in 1992. So by 1999, it should have been off of his credit report. It was 1998 when he was talking to Allied, so it would drop off in a year, right?
They said, no, that's not correct, Mr. LaFleur. We can update that record. It'll stay on for another 7 years.
Wait a minute, that would be like resetting the credit clock from 1992 to 1998, meaning that gas bill that the roommate was supposed to take care of in the first place would be on George's credit till the year 2005.
Specifically, they said this restarts the 7-year clock right now.
Allied flatly denies ever making such a threat. But in the next credit report, it appeared the clock had been restarted. The delinquency date on the Minneapolis bill had changed to June of 1998, and it now was set to stay on his credit record until 2005.
When I asked them, well, how is that? They said that 7 years gets updated every time I contact them.
Is that even legal? Well, not according to Thomas Kane at the Federal Trade Commission. He says it's a clear violation of the Fair Credit Reporting Act.
When a consumer contacts the debt collector, that is not a reason to reset the 7-year clock. There is no permissible reason to set the 7-year clock.
Once I discovered that it was illegal, I felt it was a bullying tactic, and I was angry.
By law, George had the right to sue Allied Interstate to get the false dates off his credit report. So he did. And in January, his lawyer called with a settlement offer from Allied.
They're admitting no wrongdoing, but they want to give you $2,500 instead of you giving them $300.
But there was a catch. The deal called for George to keep it all confidential and file no complaints with the government.
Before signing away his right to talk about it, George came to us. He even told Allied about this interview at the risk of losing the deal, but Allied settled anyway, on the condition that he stay silent from now on.
Allied won't discuss it on camera, but denies ever changing the dates on George LaFleur's credit report. The company's attorney says it was either a mistake by the credit bureau, TRW Experian, or what he called an aberration in a report from Minneapolis. We checked. Both Minneapolis and Experian tell us it's simply not possible. George has learned not to rely on ex-roommates to pay bills in his name.
And I agree with that. People that don't pay their bills should be made to pay them.
But at the same time, he believes he was right to fight for his credit rating.
I wanted to put a stop to it and send a message to them that they can't be doing this.
So how do you make sure there's nothing false on your credit report? Well, you should buy a copy of your credit report once a year. And if you see something that's not right, send a certified letter to both the credit bureau and the company that claims you owe them. And if you click on to KARE11.com, you can get the addresses to all the credit bureaus that publish credit reports, and we'll also find some links there to other sites that will explain all of your rights as a consumer. Paul and Di?
Yeah, but you send them that certified letter, they'll put that time clock forward.
Let's hope not. They're not supposed to.
Oh, just checking. Thanks. And now here's a look at the KARE 11 News Extra you'll see Sunday night at 10.
Sunday on KARE 11 News at 10. Okay, so you're in the market for your dream home, but do you really know what questions to ask? You will if you watch KARE 11 News Sunday.
Well, didn't they tell you about the paint and the paint problem on the house?
What if someone was murdered inside it? Or there's a chronic problem? Or even, what if it's haunted? Find out what can be left off disclosure statements and how some hide so much. Watch KARE 11 News Sunday at 10.
Okay, Marla joins us right now. We need rain, so when are we going to get it?
I know. We've been hoping and praying and wishing and all that other stuff, and we have some rain coming, but it's tomorrow
don't
night.
let Boyd down.
No, I know. He's out there washing his car. As he said, though, that's a given. Anybody who washed their car today, you know what that means. It probably will rain tomorrow, and it does look like we'll get some rain tomorrow night, not during the day tomorrow. The Weather Spy photo is a picture of hope. It comes to us from Brooklyn Center. Actually, Barb Langston gave this to me this morning. She works in my dentist's office. I went in for a cleaning, and she gave me a Weather Spy. How's that? And there it is. You can see the towering cumulus clouds there. It's a very pretty picture. She actually took the picture up in Osseo, so thank you, Barb. See you in 6 months. Hopefully not sooner. Let's move on now. We have a storm coming toward us that will bring us the chance of rain tomorrow night. And what that means is that the timing of this thing has to be perfect in order for us to get rain. By tomorrow at 7 o'clock in the evening, this frontal system would be moving into the Twin Cities. That blue area you see there is rain, or at least rain potential, according to the computer. And we are hoping for 1/4 of an inch to maybe even 1/2 inch of rain in many areas with these showers and storms, which will linger into early Sunday and then clear on out. The key word there is hope, because we do need the rain desperately, as Boyd said right at the top of the show. It's still 80 degrees out here. This is a record high. This is a record warm overnight low temperature of 67 degrees. Both of these records for the date. There's been no rain, of course, 80 and clear at 10 o'clock at night, a south wind at 16, and a barometer which is rising. Now, these are the highs across the area today. Just about everybody in the viewing area hit 90 or was in the upper 80s today. For instance, out at Redwood Falls, it was 91. But Wilmer, 93 sizzling degrees today. And look out west of here, out at Pier, the temperature there topped out almost at 100, 97 degrees. And you can almost see here with the different shades, see the hues of warmth, the yellows here, and they go into the cooler shades of blues. That is a cold front, and that is the mechanism where these showers and storms for tomorrow night will be focused upon and hopefully give the area some of that much needed rain. Here are the current readings now. A little bit cooler north of the metro, nothing unusual though. Remember, the average high is 65, folks. It's still 73 in Rush City. Absolutely amazing. There are some heavy thunderstorms up around Lake of the Woods County and Roseau, and also parts of North Dakota, but they're not coming this way, at least not yet. Here's our forecast then. Overnight, plain and simple warm, 65 to 70. Tomorrow, the daylight hours will be dry, windy and hot though, near 90. The record for tomorrow is 89, just in case you're curious. Tomorrow night, thunderstorms into early Sunday, then a break, slightly cooler, a better chance. In fact, the best chance for rain will come on Monday into Tuesday morning, and notice the slow cool down there, but certainly nothing dramatic. The rest of the state looks this way tonight, and I'm thinking that it'll be mostly clear statewide, except well to the north, even north of Brainerd now, I think. And Wilmer, you'll be warm overnight. Mankato, 69, the overnight low. Everybody should see some thunder, but once again, not until late or during the evening here in the Twin Cities metro. Paul and I. That's it. The daylight hours should be okay to do your outside stuff. The timing really couldn't be better.
Actually, keep our fingers crossed.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. Coming up in sports with Randy Shaper.
Big night in the NBA playoffs as two teams advance to the next round.
And it always seems to end up like this. You know, when you ask who was more valuable to the Twins, Bombo Rivera or Rob Wilfall?
For 1 week. 1 week. For 1 week. For 1 week at Camp Heartland. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not a kid with AIDS. I'm just a kid. I'm just a kid again. I'm just a kid.
Please join me, Paul Molitor, and the people of Northwest Airlines in supporting Camp Heartland in northern Minnesota. Let's give kids with AIDS what they want most, their childhood.
Alrighty, before we go on, I want to review last week's service. So let's go to tape. Nice, tight formation. Oh, sloppy pass, Michael. Very nice. Oops, it's all in the wrists. You break away too early. And pick up the pace of the left flank and into the end zone.
What do I like best about St. Croix Casino? Well, from May 13th to May 19th, they're having an 8th anniversary party with a powwow, $14,000 bingo, the Dweebs, and a drawing for a brand new Lincoln Town Car. Plus a community business expo, a hop and poke-a-thon, country legend Ronnie Millsap, and more. With so much going on, you just might get a little carried away. St. Croix Casino and Hotel, Turtle Lake, Wisconsin.
Introducing Signatures, new from Subway. Saucy gourmet-style sandwiches on seasoned breads, including a classic chicken Caesar with creamy Asiago dressing. Change. A spiced-up Southwest steak and cheese. Change. A mouth-watering melt with tangy honey Dijon mustard sauce. Change. Or delicious roast beef with just a dash of horseradish. Signatures, the way your sandwich should be.
Change your way. Ooh, Billy Snatch Bars. Come on, Fluffy. Let's see what you've learned. Sit. Good boy. We deserve a treat for that. Cheesecake.
Yo, yo,
Down.
yo,
Very good. Up.
yo, yo.
That's really incredible.
Treat yourself to the rich and creamy cheesecake taste of Philadelphia snack bars.
Here you go, Fluffy.
They're a little taste of heaven.
Don't make me come up there.
Frank Schaefer's here now with more on the passing of Bill Musselman.
You know, Bill Musselman was intense. I think anybody that ever met him before or got to know him will pick that up right away. And that's one of the things I always remember about Bill Musselman, the former Gopher and Wolves head coach, his intensity and his desire to succeed. Didn't matter if it was basketball or checkers, Musselman was a competitor. The 59-year-old died of heart and kidney failure this morning at the Mayo Clinic. To say he'll be missed is an understatement.
That's a good defensive team gets the ball. Free ball, who's got it?
Musselman's coaching style is legendary in Minnesota. He was intense, competitive, and a motivator. He led the Gophers to the NCAA tournament in 1972, but left a few years later amid controversy. But his former point guard, Flip Saunders, says Musselman made you a believer.
When I played for him, there was not a game that we went in not thinking that we were the better team, and that's something he was able to instill in everybody.
Saunders credits Musselman for helping him get into coaching pro basketball and says there's a lot of Bill in him.
Some of what I am as a coach is a lot because of Bill, how he was, you know, his competitiveness. He had a great way of inspiring either people who worked for him or played for him, that competitiveness and that drive. And he had a different way of motivating people.
Musselman hated to lose, and when he coached the Timberwolves, he wore that frustration on his face. The Wolves lost 113 games in their first 2 years of existence, and a coaching change was made. But Bill wasn't just about basketball. He loved his family and actually coached with his son Eric. Eric calls Bill his best friend. Musselman was a fitness fanatic. He always took pride in his appearance, which makes his passing more difficult for friends and family. He was always the epitome of good health. He leaves behind many friends and colleagues, and they mourn his passing in Portland tonight, where he was an assistant coach.
He played this out on his own terms, you know, the way he wanted to go, and it's probably best to not have to suffer through the agony and the pain that he was going to have to go through with this disease.
Musselman leaves behind a wife and a 1-year-old son, plus 2 adult children from a previous marriage. He also leaves behind countless friends who will miss him. Game 5 night of the NBA. The top 2 Western Conference teams are a loss away from elimination. I'm talking about the #1 seeded Lakers and #2 seed Utah. And the Jazz survived tonight. Jeff Hornacek with the tip in to make it 94-89 with 1:43 to go. Chuck Person had a chance to tie the game with a 3 for Seattle, but misses. And the Jazz win the series 3-2, 96-93 the final. The Lakers are leading Sacramento in the second quarter. Bryant drives, dishes to Glenn Rice. He scored 9 in the first quarter, 37-25. The Lakers are up second quarter. They have to win or they're done. That series is even. The Twins hoping to get back on track tonight with a win. Manager Tom Kelly has 998 career victories, and things look good early. Jock Jones hit a 3-run homer to put the Twins ahead of the Tigers, 7-4 in the 6th inning. But the bullpen's been miserable tonight. Travis Miller gives up the lead when Wendell McGee singles home a run in a 5-run 7th, and the Tigers lead right now 9-8 in the 9th inning over the Twins. To the NHL playoffs in Colorado, eliminated the Detroit Red Wings tonight. The Avalanche behind Joe Sakic with a power play goal in the first period, making it 1-0. They eliminate the Wings, final tonight 4-2, and win that series 4-1.
All right. Thank you, Randy. Still to come, it's Howdy Doody time in a federal courtroom. We'll explain.
But first, here are tonight's winning lottery numbers.
See the USA in your Chevrolet.
The new Chevy Impala has the highest front crash rating possible from the federal government, 5 stars. So adjust the seats, get comfortable, and let your cares fade away.
Now lease a 2000 Impala for as low as $259 a month. Residency restrictions apply. Call for important lease details.
Let's go for a drive. Impala. We'll be there.
Now that you're an adult, you know this isn't entertaining in style. It's the makings of a garage sale. What you need is the new bubble tumbler from Arby's. It's bubbly, cool, and at just 99 cents, it's a great deal. It'll cost $4 easy at one of those fancy department stores. Collect a whole set. Your friends will be very impressed. The new bubble tumbler, just 99 cents each with each soft drink purchase, only at Arby's. Now that your tastes have grown up.
We lead such busy lives with family and work, it's often hard to find the time to take care of ourselves. But mammograms are so important to early detection of breast cancer that Health Fair 11, KARE Minnesota, and Cub Pharmacy are teaming up to bring this exam to you. Each month as part of our Buddy Check 11 2000 program, North Memorial's mobile mammography unit will be at a Cub Pharmacy in the metro area. Here's this month's date and location. For an appointment, call 763-520-4200. Take the time, protect your health.
Your room makes a statement when you start with the fine quality Kincaid furnishings you'll find at Home Furniture. Kincaid is the largest manufacturer of solid wood heirloom quality furniture, and Home features the largest selection of Kincaid, all in beautiful room collection settings. Choose from cherry, pine, oak, and maple, with styles from 18th century to country, plus an exclusive selection of the new Thomas Kincaid collection. Your look, your style. You'll find it at Home Furniture.
Later on an all-new Tonight Show, in one of the most dangerous group stunts ever televised, it's an entire family of human cannonballs.
I'd like to be the people living next door. You just see people flying by the window.
Plus supermodel Estella Warren and
During Saturday home games, enjoy the Dairy Queen Family Pack presented by KARE 11, Minnesota Twins Baseball, where fun is part of the game.
When everything's in bloom, you'll be so glad you chose Bachman's.
Looking for delightful new annuals to plant in your garden? Then try these proven winners, Bacopa, Scavola, and Million Bells. Begin with seeds from NK and you'll end up with a beautiful lawn and garden. Grass, flower, and vegetable seeds are now 20% off.
Shop at Bachman's. The value shows.
Before we go, a freckled-faced doll that entertained millions of baby boomers is the focus of a heated custody battle. Howdy Doody was the star of his own TV show from 1947 to 1960 on NBC. Now Detroit Museum and the family of Howdy Doody's late creator are duking it out over just who should end up with the marionette. The museum says it has rights to the doll in writing, but the family disagrees. Until a federal judge makes a ruling in the custody case, Howdy Doody is under lock and key in a Connecticut safe deposit box.
It's saying, let me out.
Yeah, really. Now, on the other hand, take a look at this picture. No one is arguing over the ownership of this. That was a horrible Howdy Doody experiment gone awry.
No clothing.
Yeah, but the hair looks good.
Doesn't it, though?
As always.
Look at that. It's uncanny how much you look like Howdy Doody, Randy. Have a good weekend, everybody.
Good night.
Thanks, Paul.
There's not enough time in the day, but there are 13 hours to get what you want. Dayton's 13-hour sale and clearance this Saturday only.
Some things take a lot of steps, but getting rid of warts just takes one step. Compound W one step. Because Compound W can make warts disappear in one easy step. Get Compound W one step.
Little hurts can happen anytime, so I keep Dermaplast ready all the time. It's the #1 pain-relieving spray used by hospitals. And it works fast, too. So for all those hurts that can happen anytime, keep Dermaplast ready all the time.
To connect with my clients anytime.
To supply any demand, anywhere.
To go beyond the call.
To make my customers happy.
U.S. West Small Business Group gives you the power.
To connect on a whole new level.
Call now and save on high-speed internet lines.
You're watching NBC, America's late night leader.